Brothers and sisters in Christ, have you ever felt like your life carried a significance beyond what you could see, as though your experiences, struggles, and sensitivities were leading you toward a purpose greater than yourself? There are times when God whispers to his children, shaping them through their childhood, preparing them for a divine mission. These signs are not coincidences. They are divine indicators of a greater calling. In this journey, we'll explore 6 signs that you were chosen since childhood. Perhaps you felt an unusual depth of emotion, a sense of not belonging, or an unexplainable inner guidance. These are clues that your life has been guided by a higher purpose. As we walk through these reflections, you may discover that God has been preparing you all along through challenges, insights, and an unshakable sense of justice. Romans 8:28 tells us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Are you ready to recognize these divine signs in your life and step fully into your calling? If so, join us on this journey of reflection and discovery. And if this speaks to your heart, don't forget to subscribe so you can continue receiving messages of faith, wisdom, and encouragement. Have you ever wondered why your heart perceives life with such unusual depth? From an early age, it seemed like the world whispered to you more loudly than it did to others. This extraordinary sensitivity often made joy sweeter and pain sharper. You felt people's sorrows as if they were your own, your empathy like a beacon of compassion that could not be dimmed. While others seemed content to skim the surface of life, you were drawn into its depths, sensing truths that lay hidden to most. This heightened sensitivity is not accidental. It is a sign of divine intention. The scriptures in Psalm 34:18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Your awareness of the joys and sorrows around you reflects God's presence in your life. This sensitivity is a gift, not a burden. It equips you to provide empathy, support, and understanding to those who are weighed down by the world. Yet, such a gift is not without challenges. Feeling everything deeply can sometimes lead to a sense of overwhelm or isolation. But remember, this is not a flaw. It is a mark of your mission to be a light in dark places. You have been designed to reflect the heart of Christ to others. Think of how Jesus wept at the tomb of Lazarus, John 11:35. He too felt the world's grief profoundly and responded with love and action. This special sensitivity also connects you to deeper spiritual realities. Have you noticed how a simple moment of kindness or a subtle sign of sensitivity touches your spirit in profound ways? This is God's way of reminding you of your purpose. Your ability to recognize these moments allows you to discern his guidance, to see where comfort and hope are needed most. Perhaps you've often felt like an emotional sponge, absorbing the weight of the world. Yet, consider this. Could this deep capacity for feeling be part of your divine calling? In a world that often turns away from discomfort, your sensitivity is an instrument of God's healing and transformation. It enables you to uplift others, to share their burdens, and to lead them toward a deeper understanding of his love. This sensitivity shapes your discernment, intuition, and emotional maturity. It is as though you possess an invisible thread connecting you to the needs of others. When you trust this gift, it becomes a tool of extraordinary power, guiding you toward your higher mission, one of compassion, healing, and purpose. Even in childhood, this sensitivity pointed toward a greater mission, Zerania, preparing you for challenges that would require your unique heart and vision. Do not dismiss your feelings as mere fragility. They are signals of your connection to the divine, swing indicators of a heart tuned to God's frequency. Your tears, your joy, and your silent understanding are evidence that you are walking a path of purpose and divine calling. And so, this gift of deep sensitivity leads us toward other signs of a chosen path. Perhaps you've noticed that alongside this sensitivity comes a feeling of not belonging, swing, a sense that your journey is unlike anyone else's. Could it be that this very sense of difference is another clue to the divine mission God has set before you? Have you ever felt like you didn't quite belong, as though the world moved to a rhythm you couldn't dance to? This feeling of not fitting in is more than a passing discomfort. It is often a sign that you have been set apart for a unique purpose. While others seem content with conformity, you sense something greater, a call to explore beyond the familiar and ordinary. You are like a thread of silver woven into a tapestry of common cloth, distinct and unmistakably different. This sense of being different can be challenging, especially in childhood. Perhaps you asked yourself, why do I see things this way? Or, why don't I think like everyone else? Yet even in those moments of loneliness, God was preparing you for something significant. Jeremiah 1:5 offers a profound reminder. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Your feeling of not belonging is not an accident. It's evidence of a greater plan unfolding in your life. This distinctiveness often brings with it creativity and vision. You see possibilities where others see limitations. You are drawn to transformation and innovation, logically, sensing how things could be. Zrenia. This is God's way of equipping you to be a beacon of change. You are called to look beyond the surface, to challenge the status quo, and to lead others into new ways of thinking and being. But there is a cost to feeling different. The weight of standing apart can lead to feelings of isolation or frustration. Yet, consider this. Could this very feeling be part of your preparation for a divine mission? Jesus himself walked a path of loneliness and misunderstanding. In John 15:19, Zrenia, if you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. This sense of not belonging is an invitation to lean into your connection with God. When the world's approval feels out of reach, remember that God's calling is often one of distinction, not assimilation. You were made to stand out, to be different, to reflect His light in ways that are uniquely yours. Your sense of exclusion is, in fact, a sign of your inclusion in a higher purpose. In this difference lies your mission, a task that requires resilience, a sense of justice, swinging, and a heart willing to embrace challenges. Have you ever wondered if the very obstacles you face are shaping you for this mission? Your journey of feeling different leads naturally into recognizing your strong intuition, swing, an inner compass guiding you toward truth and purpose. Have you ever found yourself making decisions that defied logic, yet proved to be inexplicably right? There is something within you, a quiet voice, a gentle nudge that seems to know the path ahead before you even see it. This strong intuition is more than mere instinct. It is a sign of a divine connection. Зрение, внутренний компас, управляемый рукой, больше, чем ваша. While others deliberate and doubt, you often sense the direction clearly, as if an unseen guide were whispering, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. From childhood, this intuitive sense has marked you. When you were faced with choices, even those beyond your years, you often felt a deep knowing of what was right or wrong, what would lead to light or to darkness. This was not accidental. It was part of God's way of preparing you for a greater mission. This ability to discern truth amid confusion is a sign of your spiritual sensitivity and connection to the divine. Such intuition often comes with a heightened sense of discernment. You can sense the intentions of others, feel the atmosphere of a room, or detect subtle shifts in situations. It is as though your spirit is attuned to frequencies that many miss. This gift is not to elevate you above others, but to help you guide, protect, and support those around you. Just as Joseph in Egypt interpreted dreams and navigated crises with divine insight, Genesis 41, your intuition allows you to perceive what others cannot. But this gift of intuition can also be a burden. The clarity you feel may lead you into decisions that others do not understand. Have you ever acted on this inner voice, only to be questioned or doubted? Remember that obedience to God's guidance is often misunderstood by the world. In the Proverbs 3:5-6, Zrenia, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This intuitive connection is a tool for your mission, a way to navigate challenges, to discern truth, and to walk confidently in your purpose. God has given you this inner guidance to equip you for moments when human wisdom falls short. It helps you see beyond the surface, offering clarity in confusion and hope amid uncertainty. Your intuition is also intertwined with your sense of justice. When you perceive what is right, you feel compelled to act on it. This moral compass is steadfast, driving you to stand for fairness and defend those who cannot defend themselves. It is part of your divine calling to be a beacon of justice, courage, and truth. Have you ever wondered if this inner guidance is leading you to confront injustices that others overlook? Perhaps this strong intuition is shaping you to become a champion of justice. Zrenia, a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Have you ever noticed how injustice stirs something deep within your soul? An urge so strong it feels impossible to ignore. Even as a child, when you saw someone treated unfairly or a wrong left uncorrected, you felt compelled to stand up, to speak out, to make things right. This unshakable sense of justice is more than a personality trait. It is a sign that you are aligned with God's heart for righteousness and truth. It is a marker of a greater mission. Component, placement 1, that calls you to create balance and defend what is good. This inner drive for justice often comes with a strong moral compass. Зрение прав и неправ, которое другие могут не видеть так же ясно. You feel the weight of dishonesty, cruelty, or oppression as though it were your own burden. This is not an accident. God has planted this desire within you to act as his hands and feet in a world that often strays from fairness and compassion. In the Micah 6:8 swing, we are reminded of God's call. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. This innate sense of justice is a reflection of God's character. He is a God of justice, and when you act in defense of fairness, you mirror his divine nature. You may find yourself drawn to protect the vulnerable, or speak on behalf of those who have no voice. These actions, big or small, are not insignificant. They are your calling manifesting in everyday life. Your commitment to justice is not merely a choice, it is part of your purpose. But this drive for justice is not without challenges. Have you ever felt frustrated when the world refused to change, despite your efforts? Perhaps you've been misunderstood, labeled as stubborn or difficult, because you refused to compromise on what was right. These moments can be disheartening, but they are also a testament to your resilience and divine calling. The pursuit of justice often requires strength, patience, and a willingness to face discomfort. This is where your maturity and wisdom come into play, shaping you into a steadfast warrior for truth. Consider the example of Moses, who could not ignore the suffering of his people in Egypt. Exodus 2:11-12. His outrage at injustice led him to become a liberator, a leader chosen by God to bring freedom to the oppressed. In the same way, your own sense of justice may be pointing you toward a greater mission. Zrania, a call to challenge the status quo and bring about transformation. This drive for justice is also connected to your deep empathy. You feel the pain of others so keenly that standing by is not an option. This combination of empathy and justice equips you to be a compassionate advocate. Swing, someone who seeks not just punishment for wrongdoers, but restoration for the wounded. As you reflect on this unshakable sense of justice, consider how God might be preparing you to face the challenges ahead. Could it be that the obstacles and injustices you've encountered were part of your spiritual preparation? Perhaps these experiences are shaping you to take on greater challenges with courage and faith. Have you ever looked back on your life and wondered why challenges seemed drawn to you, almost as if they were woven into your journey? From a young age, you faced obstacles that others seemed to avoid. Whether it was emotional struggles, difficult relationships, or personal setbacks, these trials were not random occurrences. Instead, they were part of a divine process, shaping you into someone with resilience, wisdom, and empathy. God does not waste pain. He uses it to prepare his children for a greater mission. These challenges may have felt overwhelming, yet each one was an opportunity for growth and transformation. You might have felt like David before Goliath, small, vulnerable, and outmatched. But remember that David's early trials with lions and bears prepared him for his greater victory. 1 Samuel 17:34-37. Likewise, the challenges you have faced were preparing you for battles ahead. Zrania, building your strength, sharpening your faith, and deepening your trust in God's plan. The difficulties you encountered in childhood often carried deeper lessons. Perhaps you felt misunderstood, isolated, or burdened with responsibilities beyond your years. These experiences were not punishments, they were refinements. Zrania, chiseling away weaknesses and reinforcing your character. In each moment of hardship, God was instilling in you a wisdom beyond your years and a capacity for compassion that only comes from walking through fire and emerging stronger. Challenges often cultivate a deep sense of empathy. When you've tasted pain, you become more attuned to the suffering of others. This sensitivity allows you to connect with people in ways that are profound and healing. Your experiences become a source of strength for those who are struggling. 2 Corinthians 1:4 reminds us, He comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. Your challenges are part of your mission to uplift others. Have you noticed that through each obstacle, your creativity and vision expanded? Hardship often forces us to think differently, to seek solutions beyond the obvious. In those moments of difficulty, God was teaching you to rely on the divine wisdom and intuition, logically sharpening your ability to see His hand, even in the darkest circumstances. Your challenges became the foundation of a stronger faith and a clearer purpose. Endurance through trials also leads to emotional maturity. When others falter under pressure, you find a well of strength that sustains you. This maturity enables you to approach life's difficulties with calm and confidence, knowing that God has carried you before and will do so again. Like Joseph, who endured betrayal and imprisonment before becoming a leader, Genesis 50:20, your hardships are preparing you for a greater calling. Facing challenges has also fostered a sense of justice within you. When you've endured unfairness, it ignites a desire to stand up for others who face similar struggles. You are drawn to righting wrongs, to being a voice for the voiceless, and to ensuring that others don't have to suffer needlessly. Your challenges have equipped you with the courage to confront injustice, wherever you see it. God uses these difficulties to deepen your spiritual connection. When all else fails, you are reminded that He is your constant anchor. In the quiet moments of despair, you've learned to turn to Him, to seek His guidance, and to rest in His promises. Your challenges draw you closer to His heart, reinforcing the truth that your life is part of a divine plan. Perhaps you've already realized that these challenges have given you a unique ability to transform difficulties into opportunities. What seemed like setbacks were actually setups for growth and blessing. You've developed a habit of perseverance, an unyielding faith that refuses to be defeated. This resilience is a powerful tool for your mission and purpose. Could it be that these trials are guiding you toward a deeper spiritual connection? The very challenges that have tested you are now leading you to recognize the divine hand that has been guiding you all along. And as this connection strengthens, it points to a truth that resonates deep within, a sense that your life is part of a larger, sacred plan. Have you ever felt a quiet presence in your life, a sense that something beyond the physical world was guiding you? From an early age, you may have sensed that you were not alone, that a divine hand was gently directing your steps. This spiritual connection is more than just a fleeting feeling. It is a profound indication that you are part of a greater, sacred plan. While others focused on the visible world, you were drawn to the mysteries of the unseen, logos, a pull toward the eternal and divine. This connection often revealed itself in moments of stillness or awe, watching the sunrise, hearing a word of wisdom, or feeling a surge of peace during a difficult time. It was as if God Himself whispered to your spirit, reminding you of His presence. In the Psalm 46:10, Zrenia, be still and know that I am God. Your ability to perceive these divine nudges was not by chance. It was a sign that you had chosen to walk closely with Him. During your childhood, this spiritual connection may have felt both comforting and perplexing. Perhaps you felt an urge to pray when you didn't know why, or you experienced a sudden peace in moments of fear. These experiences were God's way of affirming His presence in your life. Your intuition and discernment were sharpened through this connection, helping you navigate challenges with a wisdom that seemed beyond your years. This spiritual sensitivity also cultivated a desire for a greater purpose. While others were content with the ordinary, you were drawn to the extraordinary, the possibility that your life was meant for something more significant. You felt a sense of being part of a mission greater than yourself. Zrenia, a calling that required faith, courage, and trust in God's guidance. Your heart yearned to understand this mission, to align your life with the divine purpose God had for you. Have you noticed how your spiritual connection has given you a deep sense of empathy? Because you are in tune with the divine, you are also in tune with the needs and pains of others. This connection allows you to see people not just as they are, but as God sees them, beloved, broken, and in need of grace. Your compassion flows from this understanding, enabling you to be a guide and support to those who are lost or hurting. This connection has also cultivated a resilience in you. When faced with obstacles, you draw strength from a source beyond yourself. You trust that God is working even in your struggles, shaping you and preparing you for the path ahead. This trust allows you to face difficulties with a quiet confidence. Xerania, knowing that your journey is part of his divine plan. Just as Elijah heard God not in the wind or fire, but in the gentle whisper, 1 Kings 19:12, you too have learned to listen for his subtle guidance. Your spiritual connection also fuels your creativity and vision. You are inspired by ideas, dreams, and possibilities that seem to come from beyond yourself. These moments of inspiration are not random. They are divine promptings, guiding you toward your unique mission. God has gifted you with the ability to see beyond the surface, to imagine a world shaped by love, justice, and faith. This connection leads you to moments of transformation. As you grow in faith, you find that your heart changes. Your desires align more closely with God's will, and your actions reflect his love. You become a vessel of his grace, pouring out what you have received into the lives of others. This transformation is part of your spiritual preparation. Зрение, оборудование для выполнения цели, для которой вы были выбраны. In moments of doubt or confusion, this connection anchors you. Have you ever felt a sense of peace that defied explanation, a knowing that you were exactly where you needed to be? That is God's way of confirming his presence and his plan for you. This connection is not fleeting. It is a constant, a thread woven into the fabric of your being, reminding you that you are his and he is guiding you. Could it be that this spiritual connection is leading you to embrace the unique mission you were created for? Your journey of sensitivity, justice, and resilience points to a purpose that is unfolding with divine precision. And now, you stand ready to step fully into this calling, knowing that God has been with you from the very beginning. As you reflect on these 6 signs, do you see how your life has been gently and sometimes powerfully guided by God's hand? Each moment of sensitivity, each challenge, each unshakable sense of justice, and each divine nudge was not random. They were threads woven into the tapestry of your unique mission. You are not just wandering through life. You are walking a path that God has purposefully prepared for you. Perhaps these signs have ignited a new understanding of your purpose and calling. The world may have tried to make you doubt your path, but God has been steadfast, shaping you, equipping you, and guiding you toward a greater mission. Your story is not yet finished. It is unfolding with divine precision. Trust that he who began this good work in you will bring it to completion. Philippians 1:6. Are you ready to embrace your purpose, to recognize God's hand in your life, and to walk forward with courage and faith? If these words resonate with you, I invite you to declare, I am chosen, guided, and walking in God's purpose. Share this declaration in the comments and encourage others to embrace their divine calling. And if this message spoke to your heart, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more reflections of faith and purpose.